Good morning, dear students. Welcome you all to the next lecture of the JC Connect series of online lectures. So we are studying the subject Construction Economics and Finance. In that, we are dealing with Module 1. So the today's concepts which we will be studying are net present value and rate of returns. So these are two very important concepts. If we understand them, further solving the examples will be easy, and might be from next class or say from Monday, we'll be starting with examples. Is my voice and screen is clear, right? Any one of you, please confirm, so that we'll start the lecture.
Yes, sir.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. So today we'll be studying about net present value. In previous class, we have discussed about the concept of time value of money and discounted cash flow. So further going in the series, as per your syllabus, the next concept is net present value. So again, it's a generalized concept which has many applications. So various textbooks give various definitions. So what we can say net present value as, it is the present value of a future amount. Okay. Now these concepts are a bit tricky, or say bit different to understand from the concepts of civil engineering. Okay, wherein we deal with loads, this, materials, all those things. But these are the concepts which have in flavor of economics. So net present value is said as the present value of a future amount. Now the net present value compares the value of an investment amount today to its value in the future. Net present value of all future cash flows, positive and negative, over entire life of an investment are discounted to the present. Means, in simple words, if I am about to get, say, 5 lakh rupees after 5 years, what is that value of 5 lakh rupees today is the net present value. Okay, the concept is easy. Once again, I'll repeat. So if I'm supposed to get 5 lakh rupees, okay, if I'm supposed to get 5 lakh rupees after 5 years, so that is a future amount. So as of now or as of today, what will be its value is termed as net present value or net present worth. So if you reverse this, okay, if you reverse this, means if after 5 years, you want, say, 5 lakh rupees. So for getting 5 lakh rupees after 5 years, what today you should get is also the net present value of a future value, which is 5 lakh. So net present value is that value which keeps you in today. So what amount you have today is important, is one of the basic concepts of economics. So net present value adds to it. It gives the value of a future amount as of today. So if you make any purchase, this becomes very, very important. So in future, the cost might be X. So, but what is its cost today? It is present value. Okay, so all the dealings which we do are in present value, but keeping a view of future value. So net present value is the present value of a future amount. Now, when you take an example of land, okay, if you take an example of land, so we are purchasing a land at, say, currently an amount 10 lakh, but we anticipate down the line after 5 years, down the line after 10 years, what we'll get. So that is anticipated is future amount, but today what amount we are taking that land is the present value. Okay, so present value is that concept which you deal with day to day, and when you are making an investment, it gives you what amount has to be invested, or if you are supposed to get something in future, if you want it as of today, or if you want to find a worth as of today, that worth is nothing but the net present value, NPV. Okay, so this is the concept of net present value. It is the present value of a future investment. So further, when we go ahead with the class in the discussion, I have taken an example also, which will make this concept much clearer. So NPV analysis is a form of intrinsic valuation and is used extensively across finance and accounting. So net present value analysis is a very basic form of analysis which we use to obtain the present value of any cash flow or an amount which you are supposed to get in the future. It is used for determining the value of a business, investment, security, capital project, new venture, cost reduction program, and anything that involves cash. Okay, anything that involves cash. So net present value analysis is a very nice analysis. It's the simplest form of analysis which can give you a bigger picture. So for example, if you want to make a valuation of a business, so you can value that business. Say you are a contractor, you have 10 tippers with you, you have 2 JCBs with you. Those are all your equipment. You have some land with you, you have an aggregate crushing plant, you have a small RMC plant with you. Okay, so those all things you already have. So that value we can estimate in future how much will be that value. Or if you are putting money into a project which will give you results after say 1 year or 2 year or 3 years. Now many times what happens is if you undertake a big work, okay, it is not that you'll get some returns within 1 month, 2 months. You'll have to have some patience, and that time goes. Okay, yeah, that time goes. So in future you'll be getting that value. So as of today you are investing something. So as of today what you are investing, does it match your future value or is it giving you a profit or no, is termed by your net present value. For example, you have constructed you have taken a 30 by 40 plot, you have constructed a small building, residential building, and you want to sell it. So you assume that 2 years you will require to completely finish the building and it will get sold. But you are putting amount from day one. For example, you are purchasing the land, and further you are putting all the construction cost, and then after 2 years you'll be getting. Okay, so now what happens is after 2 years what you will be getting and today's amount you have to match and see. If you want some profit, you have to match that amount, and that is done by the concept of net present value. So when we go on the other side for vehicles or say electronic equipment and all, the net present value of in future or future value of current, those vary because electronic goods, electronics market, doesn't value the old goods. Whereas if you have assets such as land, okay, a building, that values generally increase. So net present value concept gives you an overall idea how you can evaluate your business or your project capital or how you judge your cash flow. Now, why should we do this net present value analysis? Net present value analysis is used to determine how much an investment, project, or any series of cash flow is worth. It is in all encompassing metric as it takes into account all revenues, expenses, capital cost associated with an investment in a cash flow. Now, for example, you are leasing out a godown. Okay, you have a godown, you have a space. Firstly, you construct a godown there. So you go for steel fabrication and you construct a godown. Then further for next 10 years, you lease out the godown. So how will be your cash flow? Initially, you have the land. If you don't have the land, you are purchasing, that is an outflow. Again, for construction of something, you are putting in money, that is again an outflow. Then further, you are renting it out or leasing it out, say for a period of 10 years, and you are expecting money. So that is what is a cash flow. Now this cash flow, how much cash flow you should expect per year for a period of 10 years, that calculation can be obtained by net present value analysis. So once we go in the example, they are more and more interesting. In addition to factoring all revenues and costs, it also takes into account the timing of each cash flow, and that can result in a large impact on present value of an investment. So present value also takes into account the time factor, because in economics, time factor is very, very important, and this net present value analysis takes into consideration that time factor also. So that is what is net present value. Anyone wants to put up any point or anything, you can please put up so that I can go to the next concept. If anyone wants to put up any point or give any example?
Sir, I want to give example, sir.
Yes, please go ahead, Shabas.
Sir, if we purchase the land before 10 years, sir, we have
Okay.
purchased for something 5 lakhs, sir. That is the
Okay.
net present value. Then
Yeah.
after 10 years, we should sold, sir, that has go to around 10 lakhs, sir. That
Yeah.
is the future amount.
No, don't fix the amount. At above 5 lakhs. Okay. Any amount you might get.
Yes, sir. It's above
Okay.
5 lakhs, sir.
5 lakhs, above 5 lakhs. So if you are
Yes,
fixing the amount, that is also good. Then if you are fixing the amount, in that case, the next concept which is there is ROR you are fixing. ROR means what? Rate of returns. Now what Shabas said,
okay.
he has taken a land for 5 lakh, right? And he said that after 10 years, he expects 10 lakhs. Okay, so he is expecting. On what basis he'll expect? When he picks something called as next concept is rate of returns. Right, Shabaz? Very nice. Okay, very good. Anyone wants to put up anything else? Even if we are going into gold, okay, investment in gold. Okay, investment in gold also yields you very high returns after a period. Now, if you see the current cycle, last 10 years ago or 20 years ago or 30 years ago, the gold rates were quite less. Okay, and today's gold rates are quite very high comparatively. The gold market has gone quite high. So your investment at that time, if say you had invested 5 lakh rupees in gold, say 20 years ago, that was the net present value at that time. Its future value has grown up like anything, wherein the discount factor, which we term as rate of returns, okay, has come into picture, and your investment, present value investment of before 20 years, which was 5 lakhs, now it has become, quite an heavy amount. Okay, so these again concepts are very important, and whenever you make an investment, the present value of it should be known, or whenever you are getting some returns, the present value of it should be known. This concept once was explained with an LIC policy. LIC policy says for 10 years, pay this much amount quarterly or yearly, and at the end of that, you'll be getting 6 lakh rupees. So that agent tells us, see, you're now just paying 2,000 per month. Okay, and after 10 years, you're getting 6 lakh rupees. So now in that case, what you have to evaluate is present value of that 6 lakh you have to evaluate. If you are putting more amount than the present value itself, then that deal is not done, or your rate of returns are very less. So many times we get fooled, and those rate of returns come as 3% or 4% only. Whereas if that money was invested somewhere else, the rate of returns would have been 8% or 9%. So whenever we are investing in some schemes which are going to give you results after say n number of years, what is important is to calculate its net present value. So when I take that example, discussion example, idea will be more clear. Now the next concept is rate of returns. The rate of return is the net gain or loss of an investment over a specified period of time, and which is expressed as percentage. So this is nothing but your rate of interest, discounting factor, rate of returns, or internal rate of returns. So these all terms are similar. Okay, these all terms are similar, and they will be expressed in terms of percentage. It will be denoted by a small I. So when you go to invest in bank, they say if you keep the FD for 3 years, you'll get a rate of interest of say 5%. If you're keeping for 5 years, you might get a rate of interest of say 7%. So that 7 or 5 or something is nothing but your rate of return. While calculating the rate of return, you determine the percentage change from beginning of the period until the end. So when you want to find the rate of returns, you have to take the entire period over which your cash flow is happening. Start of the project to end of the project, or start of the financial cycle to the end of the financial cycle. And here is where many of the business institutions or contractors, they lag in. They have invested money, and that money rolls, it comes back, but till then again they have reinvested that money in the next project. So once one project closes, how much was your rate of returns has to be estimated very properly. So if you start any contracting thing or small thing, go with the estimation of rate of returns. If this is giving you good amount as compared to the market, your business is running fine. But if it is not giving you a good amount as compared to the market investments, then you have to make some changes. And why timeline is important here is because earlier you get the returns, the rate is high. Okay, you have invested 5 lakhs and you want 10 lakhs. Now, as Shabaz gave an example that they have taken a land for 5 lakhs and after 10 years, he is expecting to get 10 lakhs. Now, what happens if Shabaz get that 10 lakhs at 7 years only? Is it good or bad, Shabaz?
Sir,
You are expecting 10 lakh rupees at the end of 10 years.
yes, sir.
But say at
Yes,
7th year only you get those 10 lakh rupees. Is it good or bad?
sir, it is good, sir.
It is good, yes. Why? Because you are getting a higher rate of returns. So that's why when we take the rate of returns concept into picture, the time, okay, over which your financial cycle happens becomes very important. So rate of return is nothing but what you are gaining or what is your loss over a specified period of time expressed as percentage of the initial cost. The rate of returns is used to measure profit or loss of an investment over a time. ROR can be used for a variety of calculations such as assets, stocks, bond, real estate, etc. So rate of returns, any investment you do, it will give you some rate of returns. If they are positive, your investment is worth. If they are negative, you are in a loss. But this cannot be accounted for the goods which are electronic devices or say cars and all. Those are movable assets. So those things become different. So ROR generally comes positive for immovable assets such as land, gold, and all those things, whereas it comes negative for movable assets such as your car or any other things. So the effect of inflation are taken into consideration in the simple rate of return calculation, but are considered in real rate of returns. So here you have two types. One is simple ROR, where you don't worry about the market, you don't worry about the inflation rate, you don't worry about anything. But if you go with the real rate of return calculation, it takes into consideration the market inflation. Now, a small example if I want to give it for you is, you fix a residence for rent. Okay, you take a flat for rent. You pay 10,000 rupees per month. Now, second year, how much will the owner charge you? He'll charge you 10,000 only or he'll charge you more?
More, sir.
More. Why he's charging more? Because at that time he has taken that inflation into account. So generally 7% to 10% the rents are increased. Now why that is increased? Your space is not increasing with the rent, right? Your space is remaining the same. But they have increased that rent by 10% because they are taking care of inflation. So in that case, it was a real rate of return and they took the consideration of inflation and they made the rent higher. So after 3 years, they might say that you vacate the flat because they'll get someone who will pay a rent which is quite higher than what you are paying or what your 10% extra will give them. So these are all the rate of return considerations. So ROR works with any asset provided that asset is purchased at a point of time and produces cash flow at some point in future. So when you can say rate of returns, if you have taken something and when you sell it out, then only you can calculate rate of returns. If you have taken something and if you are keeping it with you only and you are not selling it out only, then this ROR doesn't come into picture. So similarly, we have one more term which is internal rate of returns. The rate of returns using discounted cash flow. Now, in the previous class, we have seen what is discounted cash flow. When your rate of returns is using discounted cash flow, it is termed as internal rate of returns. So these all terms are similar only. There is no much difference. When you are studying a discounted cash flow analysis, the rate of returns is termed as internal rate of returns. This IRR takes care of your time value of money. So now we will take simple example for discussion by which the idea will be cleared. Consider that an investment will return rupees 10,000 per year over a period of 10 years, and the discount rate required, that is the rate of return required, is expected is 10%. Now what is happening here is we have made some investment. Consider that an investment will, so we don't know what is the investment, we are not thinking about it, but we are bothering much about the returns. So how much return I am expecting is 10,000 per year over a period of 10 years. So my expected return is 10,000 per year over a period of 10 years. So my term here is 10 years, and I am applying a discounting factor, or say rate of interest or rate of return, whatever you say, as 10%. So now when you go with calculations here, so no, this factors which you will be getting are generated either by using the formula or by using the economics tables, which I'll be sharing in the group. So how much you are getting per year? 10,000, 10,000, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 1 lakh. So your scheme is that you are getting 10,000 rupees per year. So at the end of first year, okay, at the end of first year, say if you want to find, okay, if you want to find the present value of it, okay, you are assuming that you are getting 10,000 at the end of first year. What is its value today? So we use something called as discounting factor. Okay, so you are finding the present worth of an cash flow. So presently it is worth 9,091. What at the end of first year you are supposed to get 10,000. If you are having it now without any investment, it is 9,091, 9,091. So the second 10,000 you are getting at the end of second year. If that is as of now, it is nothing but 8,264. Again 10,000, one more you are getting at the end of third year. That value as of now, if you want to calculate, that is the present value, net present value, it comes out to be 7,513. So similarly, you go on calculating the present value of future things which you are getting. Now this 10,000 which is here, you are supposed to get it at the end of 10 years. Now this is the future value. You want to find present value. What you do, you multiply by a discounting factor. This will get directly from the table, which I'll explain you in the next classes, wherein I'll share you the table and I'll explain you how we get. So this is only the example I wanted to show, that 10,000 with an discounting factor or rate of interest of 10%. Okay, if you're getting 10,000 per year for 10 years, that last installment of 10,000 which you'll be getting as of today, its worth is only how much? 3,855. Means from 3,855 in 10 years, your money has grown to 10,000. So this is an example. Why I'm quoting this is, this will tell you how the money grows with time. So if I calculate the net present value, this is the addition of all these values, I'll get one value which is 61,446. Okay, so in the results when I'm putting up, the final result is that the value of the investment is worth 61,446 as of today. It means a rational investor would be willing to pay up to 61,446 today to receive 10,000 every year over a period of 10 years. Means if you are, say, purchasing a second-hand truck, and that truck will be giving you an income, okay, taking out all your expenses, if that truck is going to give you an income of 10,000 rupees every year for next 10 years. So what should be that cost of the truck today? If you're taking a discounting rate of 10%, you should not pay anything which is more than 61,446. Okay, you should not pay anything which is more than 61,446. Now, this is how when you are going for purchasing some existing asset, you have to take a discounting factor matching the market value and find its today's worth, which is nothing but the net present value. So by paying this price, the investor would receive an internal rate of return of 10%. So if you have purchased that vehicle today by paying 61,466 and you have accounted for next 10 years saying that that machine will earn you 10,000 rupees per year, then your investment has an internal rate of return of 10%. So by paying anything less than that, okay, investor will earn more. So if you quote the value, say 75,000, negotiation happens and that party will say 50,000. Then from 75 you come to 70. That party will go from 50 to 55. So if you settle for anything below 61,446, okay, then that party is getting an return more than 10%. It was expecting 10%. They would have got 10% when they invested 61,446. That equipment which they are going to purchase, or that machine or that truck, whatever it is, they are going to purchase at 61,466 today. It will give them 10,000 per year for the period of next 10 years. So if they pay more, then also they'll get something. Okay, if they pay more, then also they'll get 10,000, but their rate of returns reduces and comes below 10. If they pay anything less than 61,446, their rate of returns increases. They're getting 10,000 only. Okay, they're getting 10,000 only. Now that is sure. But now, what decides whether the 10,000 is good or bad is today what they are paying. That is the net present value. What they are paying decides whether the proposal given is acceptable or no. So now, if they are paying 61,446, they are getting a return of 10%. They are happy. Proposal is worth. If they pay anything less than 61,446, they'll get again 10,000 only, but as they have paid less, their internal rate of returns increases. Means instead of 10%, they are getting something more than 10%. So they are getting something more than 10%. So they are still happy. But in case if they have to pay anything more than 61,446, still they'll get 10,000 per month. But that 10% they'll not get. They'll get a lesser value. So this is what is importance of your net present value. One more example I am taking, wherein assume, for example, a company is considered to purchase a new piece of equipment for rupees 10,000, and the firm uses a discount rate of 5%. So you have an industrial setup, you are putting 10,000 extra and upgrading some machine or getting some new machine, and we use I value, that is internal rate of return or discount rate, as 5%. So after 10,000 cash outflow, the equipment used in operation of the building the equipment use will increase the cash flow by rupees 3,000 for a period of 5 years. So now you have an industrial setup, you get a new software. So that installation cost is say 10,000 and you are expecting I value as 5%. So after installing that new software, what is happening is you're in your business. For the next 5 years, the cash flow has increased by 3,000. You are getting 3,000 more. So here you anticipated that you wanted a growth of 5% and you are getting and cash flow extra by 3%. Now, when will this deal be worth is the business applies present value table factor to rupees 10,000 outflow and to rupees 3,000 inflow at the end of each year for how many years? 5 years. The discount rate is considered as 5%. Now, further doing this calculation, if the outflow is greater than 0, the investment is profitable. Or if you get a positive value in the net cash inflow, it is a good deal, or you can say that you are gaining more than 5%. So now here it is a double thing. Okay, now here it is a double thing. What has happened? You are putting 10,000 and you are getting back 3,000. You are expecting 5%. So that 10,000 also will be calculated over a term of 5 years because you have invested, that is in the outflow. Then 3,000 also will be considered using your time value of money, net present value concepts, using a rate of return of 5%. And after 5 years, we are predicting whether the value is positive or negative. So if the value is positive, your deal is worth and you are getting profit, which is more than your expected internal rate of return, which is 5%. If you are getting a negative value, you will conclude that the rate of returns was not matching 5%. So these two examples which I had taken today were just an example to show you all how the cash flow and how the discount rate will be considered. So these tables from which we can directly take the discount factors, I'll share with you all. There are 5 derivations. In last 5 years, only once the derivations is asked. I'll give you the notes of the derivation, and maximum problems can be solved using the cash tables directly, which I'll share with you all. Still, I'll give you all the derivations, put up the formulas, how those formulas come, because if you don't want to use the tables for solving, and if you want to use direct formula, that option is also available with you all. So it is not made compulsory that you have to use the formulas as we have the tables. So only once one derivation was asked in last 3 to 4 years papers. So still we'll go through the derivations. I'll share the notes with you all so that the further derivations and calculations will be easy. So here I have discussed with you 2 examples wherein we highlighted the importance of net present value. The first example said that if your investment as of today, that is net present value, is 61,446, then your business, what you are doing, is gaining you 10%. Anything less than that will give you more returns. Anything more than that will give you less returns. The second example was about upgrading an existing equipment or reinvesting in your existing firm. Say you reinvested 10,000 rupees in your own firm, so that you are getting 3,000 rupees extra per year for 5 years. So you took that, the rate of returns what you expect was 5%, sorry. So when you draw a cash flow diagram, which we'll be doing when we solve the examples, at the end, if you get a positive result, we are happy and we can say that that 5% is worth. If you get a negative result, it is that we are gaining profit, but that profit is not matching the discounted rate which we had fixed at 5%. So in next week classes, we'll be starting with the example. Please attend those classes because next week completely we'll be solving examples and we'll wind up this module 1. With that, I'll share all the PDF notes also of module 1. So thank you for attending the class. Have a good day.